everyone, the Fuzz is here. We're moving along with the next episode of Is It OP? Alright, so we're gonna start with the first card, everybody's favorite, Electrostatic Storm, aka the creatures don't have a place on the board anymore card. So, what does this do? This card kind of reminds me of Harpy, in that it's essentially a two-sided kill a creature a turn thing. Although it's a lot more nasty than Harpy because it can kill basically anything. And I can imagine being a new player and running into this card, probably not a lot of fun. It could easily feel like, well, I can't ever do anything again because he's just keeping a storm on the board. I'm losing a creature. I don't have any spell removal. I lose. So, let's quickly jump to the verdict here. Do I think it's OP? Actually, no. And that's mostly because if you think about where does this card see play, there's exactly one deck that even can use this card. And that's the spell-only deck. That is to say, a deck that relies only on spells to kill you. They may occasionally have some creatures like Djinn or Library Guards, but it's mostly spells. And there's essentially two variations of this deck. One turn heal, everybody's favorite, and the Dragonfire deck. Like, you use rage spells and you reflect them. Basically, you reflect something to win. And that's the only way you could use this, because this will wipe your own board. We don't currently have any effective ways to protect our creatures from this. The shields that are produced by something like the Force Mage Protector aren't going to last long enough. If there were more ways to generate those shields, I could see maybe this card played in other decks, but as it is, it's only ever playable in those decks, and they kind of need it as like repeating removal. As nasty as it is, don't think it's really overpowered because it's kind of narrow in where you can use it. Moving on to another card that can feel oppressive at times, Jor-El Silencer, aka Wisdom's big badass 4-aspect card. Man, I haven't seen this card in constructed play in some time. I wonder why. I know. It's because Hate Bears craps on this card so thoroughly it's almost pathetic. You see, Jor-El Silencer, when it goes up against Advanced Neva's ability, is really, really sad. Because when they play Brother in Arms, the first brother gets played, it's countered, and the second brother is considered played and is also countered. So it loses the energy for both brothers. And then, you know, they only paid like 1 mana, and you lose 4 energy off of this thing, and then they just play 1 more creature, and it's gone. So you've denied them like 2 mana. And they still drew 3 cards. So it's completely useless against Hate Bears, and because they're so popular now, yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere. Now, the card like Silencer, I consider it in a similar category as Landslide and Discard in general, in that a little bit of it is annoying, but not overpowered. It's when you get subjected to too much of it in a row is where it starts to feel oppressive. Like, imagine Mesmerizing Spell just makes you discard 1 card. Annoying, right? But manageable. Manageable. But then, if your opponent plays several more of them, or starts bouncing them back and forth and discarding your whole hand, yeah, that's not a lot of fun. And Landslide is exactly the same thing. If you get landslided once, it's usually not the end of the world. But if you get landslided like 3 times, turn after turn, you just want to kill yourself. I've been on the receiving end of such plays, and it's not much fun. And Silencer is similar. 1 Silencer you can probably deal with, but if they play a second one and then a third one, it's like you just can't do anything. But I still don't consider it too OP, because it is a 4-aspect card. You'd expect it to do something really good, and, you know, Silencer is kind of good, you know, outside of being useless against Hate Bears. But in control matchups, your opponent will just waste like 2 cards, and that's it. So it's not really that great. One situation where it's really great is against 1 turn heal, because 1 turn heal will often have these turns where they leave up like 4 mana, and they intend to use a spell like Pacify or Guards, and then reflect it to just prevent most of the damage for the turn. Well, if you drop a Silencer, they can't prevent crap, and they are very sad, and that makes me happy. But unfortunately, Hate Bears are a lot more common than a one-turn heal, so Silencer is just going to be useless right now. At least until, well, I don't know if the devs are going to do anything about Hate Bears or not. If not, don't expect Silencer to see any play, because it doesn't do anything against them. The only thing you could try to do is hold it until after they've went off with their hero power. But I mean, if they've already gone off with their hero power, they have a giant board. Silencer isn't going to do anything against a giant board. You need to clear their board first. But I still think it's a cool card, even though it can feel a bit unfair that you know, your stuff is countered. But consider the fact that unlike like counter spells in Magic, the Silencer doesn't decide what it counters. It just counters the first like 2 things. So you can work around it by just keeping garbage in your hand. It's not that different from Splitting Headaches, where you just have to lose 2 cards. It's just that you also have to lose like 5 mana in addition to that. But hey, this costs 4 mana and 4 aspects, so, you know, it has to have an appropriately strong effect to be worth anything. Otherwise, it would just not be worth anything. To be honest, I wouldn't feel too bad if this was redesigned, but I don't think there's any call for it at the moment. We'll see how it works in the future. Anyways, that was it for those 2 cards, which means that in the next episode, I can no longer run away from covering Horizons and Reflector, which I've been wanting to avoid, because I'm not entirely sure how to judge those yet, but hey, can't run away from my fate. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.